The All Blacks are preparing for a huge first test against the Springboks in Johannesburg, and Dave Rennie faces some major selection decisions ahead of the highly anticipated clash. After 3 tour matches, the All Blacks have tested different combinations, but the opening test is expected to bring a much stronger and more experienced lineup. In this video, we break down the predicted All Blacks team, including the expected test return of Beauden Barrett, while Rieko Ioane could surprisingly miss out despite an impressive tour. Will Jordan is tipped to return at fullback if Damian McKenzie is unavailable, while Leroy Carter, Quinn Tupaea, Jordie Barrett, and Josh Moorby are expected to form a dangerous backline. At fly half, Ruben Love could get the opportunity to lead the attack at Ellis Park, with Rieko Ioane unavailable for the opener. Cam Roigard is another key selection, although his fitness remains a concern. Meanwhile, Captain Ardie Savea is expected to return to lead the team against the reigning world champions. The forward pack could see Luke Jacobson, Tupou Vaa'i, Patrick Tuipulotu, and Josh Lord provide the physicality needed to challenge the powerful Springboks. Up front, Fletcher Newell, Cody Taylor, and Ethan de Groot are tipped to start, with the All Blacks expected to rely heavily on their bench against the famous Springboks bomb squad. We also look at the potential replacements, including Asafo Amua, Xavier Numia, Tyrell Lomax, Anton Segner, Peter Lakai, Finau Laki, and Beauden Barrett, while examining why Dave Rennie could stick with his preferred 5-3 bench split. With Rassie Erasmus and the Springboks waiting in Johannesburg, the pressure on Dave Rennie and the All Blacks could hardly be greater. The biggest selection questions, however, come in the backline, where Dave Rennie has several difficult decisions to make before the All Blacks face the Springboks at Ellis Park. The biggest uncertainty surrounds Damian McKenzie, Will Jordan, and Cam Roigard, all of whom have been managing injuries. Rennie has indicated that he is least confident about McKenzie being available, while Jordan and Roigard are considered more likely to recover in time. That could have a major impact on the shape of the starting team. If McKenzie misses out, Will Jordan is expected to return to fullback, a position where his rugby intelligence and ability to read the game make him particularly dangerous. Jordan is not traditionally viewed as a classic playmaking fullback, but his passing, positioning, aerial ability, and instinct around the try line make him one of the most complete attacking backs in the All Black squad. The decision could also open the door for Beauden Barrett to return to the test team, potentially from the bench or in a utility role. Barrett showed against the Bulls that he still possesses the experience and attacking instincts needed for the biggest occasions, and his ability to cover multiple positions gives Rennie an important tactical weapon. On the right wing, Leroy Carter has emerged as one of the strongest candidates. The young All Blacks back has impressed throughout the South African tour, combining speed, confidence, and a strong aerial game. That final quality could be particularly important against the Springboks, because Rassie Erasmus has repeatedly used the kicking game to apply pressure and force opponents into difficult decisions. Carter has also shown greater experience in the number 14 jersey at test level than some of his rivals, giving Rennie another reason to trust him in such a high-pressure environment. Fahai Finianganofo has impressed in difficult conditions, but the consistency of Carter could ultimately give him the advantage. Meanwhile, the injury to Caleb Clark has reduced some of the competition for the outside backs, although the performances of the remaining players have actually created another selection headache for the All Blacks coaching staff. At outside center, Quinn Tupaea looks increasingly certain to start. His performances under Rennie have been among the most encouraging developments of the tour, and he has combined physicality with improved attacking confidence. The absence of Billy Proctor through injury has simplified the decision, but Rieko Ioane being left out would still be one of the most interesting selection calls. Ioane has enjoyed an excellent tour and remains one of the most experienced backs in the squad, yet Rennie appears increasingly comfortable with the combination of Tupaea and Jordie Barrett. At inside center, Jordie Barrett is virtually impossible to overlook after his outstanding performance during the Nations Championship and his impressive appearance against the Sharks. His size, kicking ability, and secondary playmaking make him an ideal player to challenge the physical Springbok midfield. The battle between Barrett and the South African centers could be one of the most important individual contests of the test. At number 10, Ruben Love has arguably earned the opportunity of his career. The young fly half impressed during the Nations Championship and continued his development during the tour, showing greater confidence in attack and a more mature tactical game. With Richie Mo'unga not expected to be considered for the opening test in the original prediction, Love appears to be the leading option. However, the situation has developed quickly, with Mo'unga subsequently called into the wider All Black squad after returning to New Zealand and becoming eligible for selection. That gives Rennie another experienced option as the series progresses, even if the opening test prediction still favors Love. Beauden Barrett also provides valuable insurance because of his ability to control a match from several positions. At scrum half, everything depends on the fitness of Cam Roigard. If the All Black star is fit, it would be a major surprise if he did not start. Roigard has become one of New Zealand's most influential players because of his speed, attacking instincts and ability to keep the ball moving. The Springboks defense is designed to overwhelm opponents physically, so the All Blacks will need rapid service from the base of the ruck to prevent South Africa from establishing its preferred defensive line. Roigard can provide exactly that tempo. His absence earlier in the tour has created some uncertainty, but Dave Rennie remains confident that his key players can return because they already understand the team systems and have been building their fitness away from match action. The forward pack tells an equally fascinating story. Ardie Savea is expected to return as captain after missing the 3 provincial matches on tour. His leadership alone changes the dynamic of the All Blacks pack, but his influence goes much deeper. Savea is capable of carrying through heavy traffic, winning turnovers, supporting the backs and producing explosive moments from broken play. Against the Springboks, his ability to stay involved across the field will be essential. Peter Lakai has impressed during the tour, but replacing the captain for the first test would be an enormous selection gamble. Savea has the experience required to deal with the intensity of an Ellis Park test, and his return gives Rennie one of his most important weapons. At open-side flanker, Luke Jacobson remains the predicted choice despite the outstanding performances of Anton Segner. Segner has been one of the biggest revelations of the tour, and his ability to win turnovers and dominate at the breakdown has made the selection debate much more difficult for Rennie. Yet Jacobson has already earned the coach's trust through strong performances during the Nations Championship and the tour. Against the Springboks, experience could be particularly valuable because South Africa will attempt to turn every breakdown into a physical contest. Jacobson will need to match the intensity of players such as Sia Khaleesi and Pieter-Steph du Toit, while also ensuring that the All Blacks can secure their own possession. One of the most intriguing selections is Tupoea at blindside flanker. The decision appears to have been made with the Springboks specifically in mind. His size gives New Zealand additional physicality, while his ability to contribute at the lineout adds another tactical option. Instead of simply selecting 3 traditional loose forwards, Rennie can use Va'i as a hybrid player who strengthens both the forward battle and the set piece. Against a Springboks pack renowned for its power, that extra ballast could be crucial. The second row is expected to feature Patrick Tuipulotu and Josh Lord, providing a combination of leadership, physicality, and athleticism. Tuipulotu brings enormous experience and remains one of the most respected forwards in the All Black squad. His ability to carry in tight spaces and lead the defensive effort will be particularly important against the Springboks. Josh Lord, meanwhile, has retained his place ahead of challengers such as Sam Derry and Fabian Holland, although the performances of both players have given Rennie plenty to think about for later tests. The 4-match series means the coach will not simply be selecting one team for one match. He is building a squad capable of surviving a brutal month of international rugby. At tight head prop, Fletcher Newell gets the predicted nod, while Tyrell Lomax could provide impact from the bench. The All Blacks know that the scrum will be one of the most important battlegrounds of the entire series. Rennie admitted after the Bulls match that the team had improved considerably in this area, with the work of forwards coach Jason Ryan beginning to produce results. However, the coach also acknowledged that the intensity against the Springboks will be several levels higher than what New Zealand has experienced on tour. At hooker, Cody Taylor is expected to start after returning from injury and getting valuable minutes during the tour. His experience and set-piece accuracy make him an obvious choice for a match of this magnitude. Taylor also provides leadership around the forward pack and can control the lineout while maintaining a strong presence around the field. Behind him, Asafo Amua and Samisoni Taukei'aho offer powerful options from the bench, giving Rennie the ability to increase the physical intensity during the second half.